everyone, and welcome to There in Your Community. There in Your Community is about people, places, and things right there in your community that make a difference. Hi, I'm your host today, Caroline Brown. I'm residing from Maryland, and I would like each host to introduce themselves. Tammy, can we start with you? With a beautiful
Of course, you can
smile.
start with me. I am Tammy Martin Rouse, coming all the way from Southern California to come here to embrace and just give some warmth to this show. Thank you.
Miss Martin, let's go with you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Marceline Holly. I'm coming all the way from Florida. I don't know, Tammy. I think I have all the sun here. I don't know. We may have to compete because it's like 100 degrees over here. But I'll send you a little bit extra. But thank you so much, very much for inviting me to the show, and I look forward to having a wonderful conversation with each and every one of you. Thank you.
Hello, Miss Jessica.
Hi, I'm Jess. I'm coming from our nation's capital in DC. I am so excited to be here with the warm welcome that I've already heard, and can't wait to hear from all of you and hearing again from Karen.
Hi. Hi, I'm Karen. I'm from Virginia. I'm glad to be here with you all this morning. Good morning, lady.
Good
Looking
morning.
forward to what we have today. Thanks for inviting me.
Awesome. And last but not least, Miss Barbara.
Hi, I'm Barbara Williams, I'm from Maryland, originally from South Carolina. So I'm here to represent women. Thank you, and I want to get everything we have to say.
Awesomeness. Well, there in your community is about people, places, is about the world. So our community is all over the world. And this show topics will be also. So today we are going to discuss the number one topic that's in our public's eye is our 2024 presidential race. About that, everyone, and we will discuss the Democrats portion, which is for President Kamala Harris and Vice President Tim Walz, as well as Republican side, Donald Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance. So how is everyone feeling about what's going on so far? Which debate, DNC or the Republican version, did you like the best? Any hands?
Nope.
Okay, so I'm going to take it that we didn't like any of the debates. No one liked any of the debates?
I didn't actually watch anything, so I'm already they already have my vote. The team.
Oh, you already, well, there it is. We already have a vote from someone who didn't watch anything, so she knows what she's looking for.
I'm kind of with Jess. I didn't watch anything either. It's, they're to me propaganda, these little debates, and they don't give people enough time to do anything anyway. And so with the amount of time they have to answer, I just call it a debate show. I think it's a way that, we get to see the candidates together and all of that. So no, it's a part of the shenanigans in the game. So no, I don't. No, I'm good. I know who I'm voting for.
Right.
Oh, well, awesomeness. At least we got two people that already know who they're voting for. How about you, Miss Marceline?
I agree. I definitely agree with Tammy. I didn't watch it either. Because to me, every election is the
These aren't
same.
TV watchers.
Unfortunately, it seems like it's the same series every election. Every election, the series becomes worse. So, just like Tammy, it's a lot of propaganda, a lot of, fluff, and everyone trying to get their point across. And at the end of the day, is all what they do when they become elected, right? Because you hear one thing, and then once they're in office, the story changes. So, like Jess and like Tammy, like Jess and like Tammy, I already know who I'm going to vote for, and I don't think the debate is going to change my mind, or so.
Well, at least we got 3 votes right now for people. They already know who they're voting for. Let me just say, add in here, I was a prior councilwoman, and I agree with you, Marceline. Once the individuals get in office, they, I can hear your phone. Once the individuals get in office, their whole agenda changes. And I would like some of the individuals that run to stay on topic and at least pass some of the things that they're advertising. But I did watch the debate. I watched the Democrat debate, and listen, I was motivated. I was dedicated. I was pumping the pump. It was outstanding. And literally, I never watched these debates, but it had me so motivated. You know, you can still see my actions right now, and I'm just ecstatic, even here on camera. I thought everyone that spoke motivated one another. And I looked at a little bit of the Republican debate also. I wasn't that motivated with that side, even though they were pumping each other up. I just thought the Democratic debate really, what did they say, tore the roof off the mother. How about that? I threw in that song. So I'm going to continue and let Miss Karen tell us to answer that question.
Well, like a couple of you have already made up my mind as far as who I'm going to vote for. And I also concur with you, Carolyn and Miss Marceline, that it depends on after that, what happens after that. You know, we'll see.
All right. And last but least, Miss Barbara, what is your opinion?
Can you hear me?
We can hear you.
Yes, I'm glad I watched the debate because I watched and learned a lot that the person done back today. I don't think they did anything. So I watched everything they done, which was incredible. And then I watched what the people that came on and said they done. They done it, and the other didn't do. I mean, like Trump, he didn't do what he said. This person did it while they were the vice president. So you know who got my vote.
We don't know. Could you please tell us?
Yeah, I'm like, never.
All right. Now, here's somebody bold enough and they want to just throw that right there to the audience. I agree with you because I don't mind letting anyone know. Well, I'll hold that off for later. Nonetheless, the debates this year to me were outstanding. I thought they were more for the people. I thought they were, well, you all didn't look at it, so you can't understand what I'm saying. They were talking where we can understand regular English. So is there anything that anyone would like to discuss? Democrat RFK Jr. now joining Mr. Trump in his Republican Party. How do you feel about that? Anyone wants to be first?
Yeah, I feel that that's Trump got somebody in there trying to throw off votes so he can get more votes. That's what they do. Trickery devil. So you know, you just got to pray, go forward and go vote, go out and get people to vote for the right person. Even if you think they're right or not, they're better than Trump. So we don't want a direction team to come going after the White House, killing people and targeting people. We want somebody that kind of look like just like his mind, and somebody that's gonna go out there and try. And that woman is the first Black woman. So that's what we want. Okay.
Well, okay now, Ms. Barbara. Thank you so much. You tell it like it is. We can see that. Anyone else who would like to add anything to that?
I did not, as I mentioned before, I didn't watch the debate. I did watch when Kamala did choose her running mate, and that would make me so excited. And it felt like we have a real chance now to actually get another Democrat in office. So that to me was just the everything. And I actually teared up a little bit, just hearing everything and the excitement, and then hearing the crowd and everyone joining in. So it was just a really nice, warm environment. And I want to see that more in our world. People actually support one another.
Absolutely. So I know a lot of people didn't watch the debate. However, let's talk about how we felt when our president actually stepped down with his unselfish ways to do what the rest of the Democrat Party wanted him to do, and that was to step down at this time. It takes great effort to step down in your political position when you believe that you could win. Now, I know there were a lot of people still for him, which I was still for him, and whether we would have won or not, it's questionable. However, I really like the job that Biden has done thus far. And when he decided to step down and announce Kamala for the next president, I was overjoyed. So I'm going to let everyone speak on that topic. Let's see how you felt about it. Let's start with Miss Karen because she's been quiet up there.
Oh, I was excited about it. I had mixed feelings when he stepped down, of course, but I was excited when Kamala came forth and took the place. And I think it's a good time now for us to reflect on a lot of things, as well as look forward to a lot of things. That's where I'm at right now. As an independent voter, I'm inspired to go a certain way.
Oh, great, great.
As I say,
how about you, Miss? Oh, I'm sorry.
No, I'm done. That's good. You're good.
Okay, good. How about you, Miss Tammy? Are you working on dice?
You're on
Miss
mute.
Tammy, we cannot hear you right now. We see your beautiful face.
Yes, I'm on mute. Okay, I muted myself. How did I feel? Really, I didn't have a feeling. I don't know these people personally. All I know is them, and don't know them really professionally. I just know the output of what we see that they do. No, I didn't take anything personal. I just know that everything has strategies and everything is done purposely. So there was a purpose. They talked it out. And remember, we're just one of how many million who are watching. So we have to trust the system. Well, I can't even say trust the system because I think we have to understand the system that we're in and then understand the strategies and see whether or not those strategies are going to work for whatever our perspective is when we choose to vote. So that's how I look at it.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. Who else would like to speak? How about you, Miss Marceline?
Well, I was excited when I saw what he did. I think it was very selfless of him, and it's rare to see that in a politician these days. So, but as far as him deciding that he's going to put Kamala in that position, I think it's an advancement because of the fact that it's a representation of the world that we actually live in today. We're in an economy of diversity. And it's time that, this country gets propelled into a reflection of a community that is vast, with people from all nationalities, from backgrounds, Kamala comes from a vast variety of cultural backgrounds. Coming from Trinidad, she has parents from Trinidad. So of course I'm excited about that, right? Because she's representing my culture, but not only is she representing my culture, she's representing many different cultural beliefs and backgrounds. And I believe, in a leader, that's what we need. We need someone who understands what the people and who the people truly are. And for many years, we've had people in office that doesn't really understand the people. So how could you serve the people if you don't understand the people? So I'm very excited about that. And, I do hope that if or when she does become elected, we will actually see a reflection of what this United States, which is united, should be.
Absolutely. Thank you, Marceline, for that. Miss Jessica, what would you like to add to that? How did you feel when he transferred?
I was glad that he was able to see that his mental and physical health would be better off. if he did step down, and it's not just for him and his family, but also for the world at large, because it's not just the US that it's affecting, it's everything around us. And so the fact that we're having someone in that place who can actually do the job and do the work, physically, mentally, hopefully spiritually, and can tap into her youth as well, which I feel like is a really important point, and her diversity and her state. The fact that she has been also, she's currently the vice president, also does help, and the other work that she's done. So very, very excited the fact that you know, he did recognize that, and we do have limitations and we all can't be everything to everyone. And so really thankful for that.
I agree with that, Miss Jessica. I do believe, because I remember the Democrats pushing him to step down, and I remember him saying no, no, no. Now he did it in his own time, but one thing I really like about it, I think he thought this through. You know why? Because he did it in enough time to give us some time to advertise for that position. However, he did it in a time where there wasn't time to actually put another candidate in that position. So the Democrats were up against the gun. Well, we don't want to say gun. They were up against a deadline to get someone in that position. And he held off as long as he could. So when he announced Kamala, there wasn't time to get, I'm sorry, you have a comment? We had a comment from the man gallery, but so that was my opinion. Let's get your opinion, Miss Barbara.
Yes. Everything everybody said.
Okay, we're all righty now.
Yes.
Miss Barbara is going with everything that everybody said. And could you elaborate on some of it for us? And that will be our recap. We can see you also.
Oh, yes. What do you mean by elaborate?
You said everything that everyone said. So could you just
they heard they know they was up against time, so they dicked her in quick, and she got rolled out and told story about herself that people didn't know about her. Everybody was saying, well, we don't know her, sister and family, husband. So tell everybody what's going on. And like I say, she's from a different culture, so it's no crazy. It's good. It's black.
It's not coming over really. Barbara's going in and out.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm saying that she's like Jessica said, she's multicultural, and so she's for everyone. That's what I like about it, and everybody. That's it, you know. And I'm glad that she's the person she picked. So they showed his life story, so I learned a little bit about him too. A lot of people don't know about each person and debate like they did the not the debate thing on TV. So that's all.
Well, thank you, Ms. Barbara. I agree with what you're saying, and I because they didn't see the debate, they probably didn't understand totally what you were talking about. People were saying they did not know who Kamala was. Kamala. My son gets on me for pronouncing her name, and the kids were on the show, and they taught us how to pronounce her name. And the little cuties, the first kid said, start her name with a comma, and the second kid says la 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 la. So it's Kamala. And I thought that was great because I know a lot of people get her name wrong, me first, and my son corrects me all the time. But I think the debate was so good for me. It gave us an opportunity to understand who she was. where she came from. And you're right, as vice president, we didn't see so much of her. But let's talk about the Republican side just a little bit. I JD Vance at all. I just don't know where he came from. I never seen him before. And I understand he was already in Congress, and I heard there were some things about him. Let's talk about the Republican side. The things that we went through the first time around with Mr. Trump in office, it kept all of us holding our breath. I mean, we were literally holding our breath. The world actually went into depression. You could see it on everybody's face. You could hear it in their voice. And it's like once that was over, we were able to breathe again. Um, with this happening again, yeah, I'm fearful. I'm actually fearful because we say what we want to say to become president, but when you become president, what are you actually going to do this time around? And that's why everyone is frightened. So I'm going to yield on that. And would anyone like to start off this conversation?
What is the what is the question you want us to ask? I mean, answer?
Yes, we're talking about the Republican side. Do you have anything to add to Mr. Trump getting in office again and his running mate, J.D. Vance? Did you even know him before he was nominated as vice president?
Mm. Well, I don't mind taking a lead. Again, as I stated before, I think, you know, these elections are, you know, you mentioned earlier that you were, that you know, you were councilwoman. I think it's very, when we look at the U.S. and getting to know people, it's only a small amount of people who know people. And that's why it's great when people come up and their city council, their mayor, then their Congress and their Senate, we have some type of lineage where people are getting to know people. So Kamala has people that know her. Trump probably did not go through that. So it's really, when we say we're afraid, I don't think, number one, we should be afraid for anything. It is what it is. We have no control over it. I think you have to do the best that you can, knowing that people are going, you know, to be people within a certain parameter. So we look at this thing as, well, if this person is in the office, oh my God, everything's going to go to fan. I don't think, regardless of who's in the office, everything's going to go to fan. I think you're just looking for the better choice to fit our interests. And so when most of our interests are not being adjusted, then we have to think like, okay, I might not get all of my interests adjusted, but for the most, we should, you know that, number one, the world is going to go on, and then we all have to make the most of it. And if anything, let's think of strategies we can use if our party don't get into office, and how we can enhance what we do at our own level to push the agendas that we want and get people to not come out and vote during just the election, but get involved
in your community.
Period. Get involved locally, and that is what drives things in DC anyway. So everybody look at this as it's a one day, let me vote. If I don't get the person I want, then I'm a little bit upset. But no, how can you continue to get involved and then continue to push the agenda that you want anyway? So that's my take on it.
Very good take, Tammy. Anyone else would like to share on that subject?
I agree with Tammy. It's definitely all about the pre-election, right? It's all about, not about the president themselves. And like you said, a lot of people do concentrate mainly on the main election, but they don't realize and understand that the pre-elections are the most important. The people that we have in Senate, the people that we have in Congress, the people that we have in local government, they're the ones that actually are the main decision makers. So even though we have a president that's in office that we may or may not like, at the end of the day, let's say, and it has happened over and over again. We may have a Democratic president, but then Congress and Senate, is overtaken by Republicans.
That's right.
And they're the ones that actually makes the decisions. and people are not aware that these are the people that actually make the decisions. And even though you have a president that may want to pass certain bills, if they're against it, you're not going to get it.
Absolutely.
You know, so it's all about the people and when they come out, and the focus does need to be pre-election. It does need to be local elections. So I totally do agree with that. But as far as the piece that you mentioned about people in office, you know, we have seen, and he has shown us who he is time and time
Absolutely.
again. He was and had been in the office for 4 years, and he shows us what he brings. And at the end of the day, when people show you who you are, you have to believe it.
Trust and believe.
So I don't see anything changing with who he is. I don't see anything that's going to be positive. I mean, I've lived in an environment in an area that is very segregated. And some of his messages are not positive. And it's not positive when it comes to unity of others. And that's the problem that I have is a division, and it's all about divide and conquer. And that's what I've seen.
I totally agree with you, Marceline. You know, I think we as citizens and community need to educate ourselves a little bit more regarding the voting takes place, because what we did not realize, and I'm not even going to speak for the world until I got, well, it was before I got into politics. If you don't have a House and Senate, you really have nothing, because I can write bills, I can give suggestions all day. Where is it going to go? You have to have a way to pass these important laws that are created. And if the House is against it because it's full of one side or the other, it's not going anywhere. So I think that was very important that you brought that up. And so when I say educate ourselves, I mean on the entire system. We know bits and pieces of the system, but you know, we're learning from others. When are we going to step up and do our own research? So let's go with the next person, and then we'll close this out and get on what's very important: our happiness of
I want
our group. Okay, well, Miss Barbara is eager to speak on this subject.
to this subject because, like she's saying, like when I was younger, I didn't care to vote for these people because either way they're gonna do what they want to do anyway. But when Obama came in and Caroline kept teaching me, a lot of people don't understand, they don't know. So like you think you understand certain things, but you know, like when I was with her when she was running for council, when we was doing volunteer work before then, you learn and you have to teach people and knock on people's doors and talk to them. They say, I only see you when it's time to vote. And so I didn't,
Because it's about who. It's about it should be about who.
it should be about the people, the community.
Absolutely.
And so that's why I do more for the community. I ride the bus or wherever I go, I people I still have to learn, because if you don't, you're gonna lose out. You can't complain, you have to know how to fight. You got to know how to fight. That was your fifth gun, like the capital. You have to learn how to fight with words and write down what you need to do and get to your people in your community. That's the only way you're gonna make it. That's how Black people been doing it from church all along. So that I yield.
So that's one thing I like about Kamala's campaign. And to be fair and honest, I didn't watch the full debate for Donald Trump. Kamala's, thank you, my audience. That's one thing I liked about their campaign. It seems like they were for the people. And if you're not for the people, what are we for? Because the people is what makes up the community. Community makes up what? The world. So how about you, Miss Jessica? How do you feel on that subject?
You're referring to our past president.
And his president. Even if you even knew JD Vance.
I knew who he was only from the glimpses I've seen on TV. But that's someone that I don't know if that's the real person or someone that they do when they're on, in media.
So the difference between the two, I try not to be watching anything that's negative or towards hate or towards anything to ostracize others. So if I hear that or see it or around that, I turn it off. So I'm actually not the kind of person who actually will watch all of that. I know that you're supposed to hear every side of it to really get the full view of something. However, I already have a view point. And the more and I hear negativity or people who are basically just don't want others to succeed, I really just have to turn it off. So again, I don't know if that's really saying about who I know of him. I just know that I want to just be in loving, supportive environments and not be around anything that's with hatred. So I don't feel that they support everyone or want everyone to succeed.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's my
So
viewpoint.
we're going to listen to Miss Karen, and then we're going to get on Miss Jessica, what you were just speaking about. We want to work on positive things because positive things, to me, is what makes the world move. And actually, that's what I do like about what they were, each person spoke about during the convention. Okay, Miss Karen.
Well, for me, as I'm sure with most, it's about policy. You know where they stand in policy, and that's why I chose to be independent, because it would for me depend on what they are saying they are going to do. As we spoke earlier, of course we'll find that out once they are in office. But for me, it's just basically about policy and what they're, presuming to do. And I
Okay, that
think,
sounds great. Well, we're going to conclude this. We could talk about this all day, but before we all leave, and I know some of us have some place to go, I want to just touch on what we're trying to create, our 1K. So I just want to thank everybody for speaking on that topic. And we're just going to give a quick synopsis of our next topic because politics can go on forever. So we are trying to create a 1K coalition for positivity in our community, positivity among women. You know, we always hear that women are fighting against each other, and I think that is incorrect. There are some women that don't fight against each other. There's a misconception among women not getting along. All these beautiful women on here, I absolutely love. They each have something special about them. I mean, and when I say special, I mean deep rooted. They're individual. And so I wanted to create, among with these other women, a 1K coalition for best self. And it's about becoming the best person that you can become while helping your neighbor to become the best person that they can become. And in that same respect, if I help you and they help one another and it comes back around to me, we're all helping each other. So that is what this is about in a nutshell. So I know there are two individuals that have to leave. So we're going to start with Miss Tammy, then we're going to go to Miss Jessica. Tammy, we can't hear you. Okay.
I said, what was the question?
Okay. So we're talking about this 1K coalition about women. The coalition will be about bringing women together, you know, to positivity, to enhance one another, to build upon one another. And in that regard, you're actually building yourself up. You're rejuvenating yourself.
Okay. And all right, I'm not getting the question. I'm agreeing with you. No, I'm sorry. I guess I didn't get the question. Do I agree on what we're doing or bringing?
Tell us a little bit. Well, let's go to Miss Jessica first, and then we'll come back to you because we're just enhancing what this would do for our community. Just your thoughts on a group like this and what it will accomplish. So it's not per se a question, but just give us your point of view on a subject like this.
Well, then that's easy. Well, I think if anything, any voices that are out there talking is going to resonate with someone. And so everybody has a voice, everybody has a thought that they want to relay. So if you can tap into the community and get people talking, if anything, depending on, the platform, it should and encourage people, probably enlighten and even educate. I'm all about education. And the more I think transparent you are, and the more you get people involved in the conversation, not saying that I don't think it's going to change who goes in the White House, but I think it could, depending on which avenue you take and how you get people engaged. And I'm always not looking to get people engaged who are already on the who are already voting, who are already civically engaged. I think my purpose is everything that I do is to reach out to people who are not engaged in whatever I'm doing or whatever civic platform that is going on, and tell them why they should get engaged to a certain standpoint. So that would be my reason that I think this is a good platform, is if we're educating, uplifting, and engaging people who were probably there for not, or people who were engaged, giving them a voice to come on and talk about their stuff.
Absolutely. I agree with that. That was very good. And on that same note, what about building up other women so that in return, we're actually building ourselves, we're motivating ourselves?
Mhm.
Okay. Well, we'll go to
me.
I was.
Yeah,
I just wanted to incorporate that.
I think is a reciprocity, all of that stuff. If you're putting out and everybody is giving viewpoints and people who are out there listening, if you're educating, you're already building yourself up. We have different levels and capacities of what we know. So, I can meet you and you can be at this capacity and this is how much you know. And then every week, if you're building your capacity, your knowledge, and therefore it's not just even having the knowledge. What do we tell people to do with the knowledge? Go and tell your friends, go and tell your family. So it's one thing to have knowledge and not give it out, but then you have to give a place for you to settle that knowledge, because it's not just about reflection on you growing and uplifting yourself, but having the courage to go out and lift up others.
Absolutely. Great. Let's go to Miss Jessica.
I just want to say thank you, Tammy, for what you brought up. And again, totally concur with for support, for giving more voices, for education, for transparency, just to cheer others on, to empower them, and however way we can do it, since we all have different viewpoints here. We've all had different lessons that we've learned, different careers and paths that we follow, different journeys. And so to get even our mindset around like what we've accomplished, and then being able to share that with others, which is always nice. And always will believe in trying to pay everything forward, and to give back the best we can. And knowing that like if one of us is tapped out, someone else will be there for someone else as support. Since no matter how much energy you have or capacity you have, there's always nice to have someone that is there with you to you could tap or cheer on or rally for. So I'm very much looking forward to having a wider group of friends and community, and that women will support other women. Always works really well.
Absolutely, Jessica. I do agree with that. I think as we grow in that community, helping one another, we will be surprised how much we're helping ourselves. So we're going to go to Miss Marceline down there with that beautiful smile.
Okay. Thank you for the compliments.
Okay.
So I totally agree with Tammy as well as Jessica. I'm excited because it's great to learn from others. And I've learned quite a bit, even on this call today, different people's perspective, different people's point of view, because, as usual, as the end of the day, we all come from different backgrounds. So therefore we have different worldviews. So learning from someone else that can help build me and grow who I am and help propel myself into growth is something I'm always looking for. So I look forward to learning from Tammy. I look forward to learning from Jess, as well as you and Karen, because I'm sure there is something that you can add to me. So, and I'm looking forward to adding to you as well. So, like Jessica say, having a community of women that can add, that can build us, that can help us realize who we are on the inside, I believe it's important. So I'm excited.
Absolutely. So, Ms. Marceline, a coalition of such, do you think, well, you just said you could get a lot out of it because you said that you could learn from others. What do you think this could do community-wide for women?
I believe as a community, this coalition will be able to help women understand who we are on the inside. It will be able to help us support each other. We all have different challenges. We all have different traumas. We all have different things that we deal with. And sometimes we feel like we're alone in these challenges.
Absolutely.
Sometimes we feel like we have no one else we can turn to. Sometimes we think nobody understands what we're going through. And I believe this coalition will help women realize that you're not in this by yourself.
I totally agree with
And will
that.
help pull them out of, because yes, we're talking about positivity, but there's also a balance, right? I mean, even with positivity, there are some negativities. So I truly do believe that this coalition will help us create some sense of not only balance, but help the women around us center themselves.
Oh, I like that. I see Tammy raised her hand, so we're going to go back to Tammy for a second. No hand. We have two more, and then we're going to close out. Let's go with, we're going to go with Miss Barbara because it looks like she has some things on her mind over there. Oh, but Barbara?
Well, I'm new at this, and being a woman is very hard, and communication is very hard. So you have to. You can hear me? I said I agree to everything everybody said because being a woman is a lot of difficulties. We are like having kids and different things, political. It's so much on us more than a man. So it's good to have a group of women. So if you need any question answered, you can ask the person anything you want to learn. You can learn from the other person. And even, people special, people that don't like, they got things to talk about, but people are shy. And me, I'm a little challenged, but I'm still a woman and I have my rights and everything like that. So I agree with everything everybody said, and I yield. I'm special.
Okay, Miss Barbara, that was great. Miss Barbara is actually pretty funny, everybody, and you'll come to know in the future how funny she is. So we will have some funny clips on here. We're just not going to be talking about serious things. We're going to actually get down deep and dirty into who we are because I've been a happy-go-lucky person, but sometimes that gets me in trouble, especially at work when I want to do everything perfect. And I know some of the others on here have had that same issue, because sometimes people don't want you to do your job great because then others see that they're not doing their job great. And so when that happens, you become a target.
Mm-hmm.
And we yes. Really go into that a little bit more. So we're going to get Karen because I know we're up against the deadline, and then we'll close out. And thanks to everyone for your patience. Ms. Karen.
Yes. I do think this platform is important because I think it is important for all of us to be heard as women, as you mentioned, and also touching on what you said before, as the cliche or the saying goes that women don't get along with one another. I think it's important that we show that that's not true. For example, I this morning, I don't know a lot of you. I know you, Carolyn, and I know Barbara. I know Barbara. I met you both, Barbara. But as far as the rest of the ladies, this is my first time really. And all of you have made me very comfortable as far as being here this morning. And I really have enjoyed talking with you and to you. So I'm looking forward to breaking that myth with this platform.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you, Miss Karen. That was absolutely beautiful. I guess I just want to end this segment and saying, and if anyone else would like to add anything, I am so blessed. And when I say blessed, I'm blessed beyond blessings that I know each and every one of you all. As I said before, you all come with just an array of personality and beautiful accolades in each one of you all. And I have told you, Jess, when I get on the phone with Jess, we smile throughout the conversation. And you would think that we don't hear, but we do hear. I talk to Marsha Lane and we laugh and giggle as though we're kids. And then we can become as serious as the president. Karen, I've been knowing since I was a little girl, and there's so many things that we have in common. But Tammy is a world of energy. And so you all will get to know that later. She is very hilarious. She says what's on her mind. And all of you are just beautiful. And Barbara, I didn't forget you. Barbara is funny and she can dance. She can get down. And that's one thing that people, every time she goes to a party, they want her to lead off the Soul Train line. And she's like, I'm shy. But when I blink my eye, she's right there leading it off. So in that, with just this group of women, there's so many great things about us that we have to share with one another. So can you imagine when we get 1K? All of these women and their beautiful personalities will come together to share together and enhance one another in whatever we're doing in our businesses as well as our personal life. So I just wanted to say thank you all for coming on this call. Thank you for your beautiful smiles. Thank you for your conversation. And if anyone else would like to speak, I will yield the floor for you, Miss Tammy. You're on mute.
Bye. Young lady, it's magnificent.
Okay, on that note, I would like to say goodbye to everyone and whoever wants to stay on. We're ending this segment, but the rest of you, please, we look forward to the next podcast TV show. And thank you for joining. Bye.
Bye.
Peace be with you all. God bless.
God